Are you planning to visit Glacier National Park? Do you need help planning your itinerary? This video is for you. I was born and raised just outside of Glacier, and this is my current home base. If you're embarking on your first or second trip to this national park, watch this video to hear my recommended 3-day itinerary. Before we get into it, opening sequence. Hello National Park Explorers, welcome back for an all-new travel itinerary video. If you're new here, my name is Jeff Heyer and I create eco-travel content covering natural destinations all around the world. I cover wildlife experiences in Africa, natural wonders in Yellowstone, and the topic of today's video, my backyard, Glacier National Park. I grew up here in Montana and it's the place I know best. People visiting this area always ask me, what should I do in Glacier? What do you suggest seeing? Jeff, I'm overwhelmed by all the hiking options. Help me plan my trip. So the day has finally come where I'm going to make this video sharing a recommended itinerary. This is going to be a baseline itinerary. It's easily adjustable to fit your needs and interests. There are no rules here. This is just a starting trip plan that I believe covers a bit of it all, includes the must-see locations, and fits reasonably in a 3-day time frame. This is an itinerary you can pull off if you don't have a car. If you're self-driving, great. If you aren't, we're going to take advantage of free shuttles and available rides as best we can. Even if you do have your own car, using the free shuttles are definitely worth considering at times. This is because parking is limited in many areas and the shuttles are completely free to use, so why not take advantage? Could make your journey way smoother. I'll also be providing some guided hikes and tour recommendations if that interests you. These are great day trip options to consider that will let you focus more on your adventure and less on travel logistics. These tours come with transfers and pickups, so also great if you don't want to drive everywhere yourself. This video will also include some hiking recs. I'll be providing hiking options ranging from easy to moderate to difficult, so you can decide which hike is best for you in the areas I'm recommending to explore. And lastly, I'll be suggesting some nearby restaurants you should consider too. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let's jump into it. Let's begin with day 1, your first day in Glacier. Let's assume you woke up in your nearby accommodation this morning. Whether that's at a campsite, a cabin in Coram, or a hotel in Kalispell, Columbia Falls, East Glacier, or Whitefish. If you want some recommendations for where to stay during your trip, I've listed some great options in the description below. There's a wide range of cozy cabins to upscale lodges to choose from. Once you're up and ready to adventure, we're gonna head into the park via the West Glacier entrance. This is considered the primary entrance of the park. There are several restaurants, cafes, and shops to stop at when you first pull into this area. There's even a mini golf course and a giant bear chair for a photo op. If you're hungry, you can grab a bite at Frida's or stockpile snacks and lunch items from the market. Once you've entered the park gates, you'll soon arrive in another small village called Apgar. Apgar Village is a great starting point for Glacier adventures, offering amenities like cafes, motels, campsites, and shops. Apgar sits on the shorelines of Lake McDonald, the largest lake in the park. From Apgar Beach, you will get that iconic view of the serene lake and its mountainous backdrop. How much time you spend in Apgar is really up to you. It can be a quick stop or you can spend the entire day enjoying the beach. Be aware that you can rent things like kayaks and paddleboards at this beach if you want. This is easier than bringing your own watercraft because if you bring your own, you must have it inspected first. By renting right from this beach, you can skip that step entirely. Take a stroll along the shore, rent some kayaks, or simply soak in the breathtaking views. There are no rules to how you spend your time, but in this itinerary, we're going to assume you spent about an hour here and move on to our first hiking location, Avalanche Lake. It's from Apgar. You have the option to hop the free shuttle or drive yourself to the Avalanche Lake trailhead, the first recommended hike of this trip. This drive along Lake McDonald takes about 30 minutes. Do you know that if you have your own car, you must have a vehicle reservation to drive the stretch of road between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m.? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, reservation systems what? You're going to want to watch my What to Know Before Visiting Glacier video that explains this entire system. That's linked below if you need it. Avalanche Lake is a low-effort, high-reward hike that anyone can do. This moderate trail rewards hikers with jaw-dropping views of Avalanche Gorge and, of course, Avalanche Lake. In my opinion, this is a very easy hike. It's only about 5 miles round trip with little elevation gain. Avalanche is one of the busier hikes in the park, but for good reason. Like I said, you see a lot in a short period of time. An add-on to this hike is the Trail of Cedars. This is a very peaceful walk that wanders through the gorgeous cedar trees and natural foliage. Depending on your hiking pace, you might still have some time in the day to explore more of this area. Nearby, there are a series of pullouts that offer amazing views of different rivers, mountains, and creeks. You can also stop at the Lake McDonald Lodge and explore this historic hotel. This is a great time for me to mention that if you want to go on a guided hike, I have some suggestions for you. You can check out my recommended glacier tours by clicking the link in the description below. These are great options if you want all the logistics of your trip to be taken care of. They're also a great way to grow your understanding and appreciation of this park with experienced guides. I recently joined a guided day trip to Avalanche Lake, and even though I'm a local and have done this hike many times, I still learned a ton of new information and found this to be an enriching experience. I was picked up outside of the park in the town of Columbia Falls, shuttled in by our guide, and taken on a stress-free day trip. Just so you know, parking inside the park, especially at Avalanche Lake, can be busy and limited. A huge perk of these guided trips is that they have designated parking spots, which makes the excursion way more convenient. Our hiking guide, Alex, was very knowledgeable about the history and ecology of Glacier. She brought all kinds of gadgets and ID books on the trip that guests could use. This included binos, which was really fun to have when we spotted mountain goats scaling cliffs in the distance. Guides will ensure you're fully safe and prepared for the journey. They know just what to do if you encounter something like a bear on the trail, so if you're worried about those chance encounters, you will be in safe hands during those situations. Overall, guided trips are a great way to get the most out of your trip in Glacier. By clicking the link in the description below, you'll find all the tour types, the times, durations, and prices per person for each of them. I highly recommend looking into these options. Back to the itinerary now. Whether you enjoyed a fully guided excursion or decided to do it yourself, after your day of exploration, it's time to grab dinner. Now, there are many restaurant options outside of Glacier, but one delicious suggestion I have for you that will satisfy your hunger is to visit INDAH Sushi in downtown Whitefish, which is actually the sponsor of this video. INDAH Sushi is an Asian fusion restaurant that has a delectable menu of fresh, feel-good food. Believe it or not, I've been working at INDAH Sushi on the side for 4+ years now, so you might even see me if you go in there. I love picking up shifts there, especially during the summertime when it's very lively and upbeat. INDAH has indoor and outdoor patio seating during the warmer months. The chefs love creating unique specials to keep things extra fresh. It's feel-good food that will pair great with a day in Glacier Park. I love seeing hikers come in after their long days in the park. In fact, there was one case this last summer where a group came in every single day of their trip because they were hooked on INDAH. If you go to INDAH Sushi, whether it's the food truck or the restaurant, and say you came from Jeff's YouTube video, you're getting a free edamame. Code word, Jeff's YouTube. On certain days of the week, the INDAH food truck is open in downtown Whitefish. If you prefer something quick and easy like a poke bowl or noodles, check the truck's operating hours and locations online and stop by. Thank you, INDAH, for supporting this video. You guys are the best. After you've indulged in all the poke bowls and sushi rolls, it's time to rest up for another day ahead. Day 2. Today we're diving deeper into the heart of Glacier for another epic day. Next on the agenda is driving up the iconic Going to the Sun Road, one of the most scenic drives in the country. This is 49 miles of road that starts at Apgar Village and goes all the way to St. Mary on the east side of Glacier. I'm suggesting you drive the first half of this road up to Logan Pass, which is the road's highest point of elevation. This is a popular checkpoint worth exploring, and that's because there are several hikes that stem from here. Then later in the day, we'll plan to travel down the road toward the east side. So our first goal is to get to Logan Pass. To get here, you can hop the free shuttle from Apgar. Like I said earlier, there are shuttles available to take visitors here from Apgar Village, which I recommend as parking at Logan Pass is limited and always fills up. If you want to go full tourist, you can reserve a Red Jammer tour. This iconic vehicle takes visitors up and down this road, starting at various departure points. Another option is to join the Going to the Sun day tour that's linked in the description below. This guided trip tours you all along this scenic highway. It lasts about 8 hours and stops at the most scenic pullouts. Along the journey, guides will share historical facts about the park and explain everything you're seeing. I highly recommend this option for people who aren't keen to hike every single day of the trip and might prefer to do more sightseeing on day 2. If you decide to drive this road yourself in your own vehicle, make sure you have a vehicle reservation for the day you plan to drive it. This is required to enter with your own car. You can find more details for that in the description below or in my other Glacier videos. I do a full breakdown of this reservation system. It takes about 90 minutes to drive from Apgar to Logan Pass. That's if you drive without stopping. This is a leisurely road that's not meant to be driven quickly. I'd budget about 2 hours to have an unrushed experience on your way up. Once you've reached the highest point of elevation on the road, Logan Pass, you can stretch your legs, check out the Logan Pass Visitor Center, or walk along the many paths stemming from this spot. From here, there are several hiking options to choose from, including the iconic Highline Trail. This is a 12-mile one-way hike that's quite popular. So if you plan to do this, you'll spend most of your day hiking on the trail. If you want to do something smaller, another option is to hike to the Hidden Lake Overlook. This is only about 1.4 miles from the visitor center, and it's mostly on boardwalk. For the record, I've said this already, but parking at Logan Pass is really limited, so I recommend heading here with an open mind. If you can't find a place to park here, I suggest moving along and letting fate tell you where you're going to be exploring. Trust me, you won't be disappointed no matter where you end up. Logan Pass is a small, congested area, and the only way I can guarantee access to it is by booking the guided drives and tours. Another alternative hike option that's nearby is Virginia Falls and St. Mary Falls. This is only about 3.6 miles round trip, and it's relatively easy. Again, you won't be disappointed anywhere you hike. All of these trails offer spectacular views of Glacier. After you've had a day of exploring, it's time to make your way to Many Glacier. Many Glacier is its own sector of the park that's quite removed from everything else, but worth exploring for at least a day. If you can, I suggest booking an overnight closer to Many Glacier for the remainder of your trip. If you want to keep the same accommodation you had on the west side, that's okay. It will require a bit more driving to get to and from, but I do it all the time. Long days in the car, but worth it. So following this hypothetical itinerary, you'll leave Logan Pass and travel down the Going to the Sun road towards the east side. It's from here I recommend staying somewhere in East Glacier, St. Mary, or Many Glacier, just so you're in closer proximity to this sector of the park. No matter where you choose to stay, now's your chance to rest your legs and get ready for another epic day in Glacier. Day 3. Our final day in Glacier takes us to the majestic Many Glacier area, known for its stunning landscapes and abundant wildlife. I suggest spending the day hiking one of the many beautiful trails in this sector. Before hitting the trail, it's worth checking out the Many Glacier Hotel. This is a historic building right on Swift Current Lake. I definitely recommend having a peep in there if you get the chance. If you go in there, there's a small chance you'll see me playing piano in the lobby. The hiking in Many Glacier is awesome. Whichever trail you choose really depends on your capacity and what you want to see. The most popular choice would be Grinnell Glacier, and that's because you can hike up close to one of the park's remaining glaciers. Other recommendations include Iceberg Lake, Ptarmigan Tunnel, and Swift Current Pass. Cracker Lake is another gorgeous one, but quite a bit further to get to. If you're looking for something lighter, opt for the scenic Swift Current Lake Loop for a leisurely stroll. Again, there are many group and private tour options that cover this region of the park. These tours pick up most guests in the town of Columbia Falls, but have the ability to pick you up right from your accommodation, no matter where you're staying relative to Many Glacier. After another active day in this beautiful place, head back to your accommodation for your final night. And that concludes this 3-day baseline itinerary of Glacier National Park. I hope this video provided some great insights and recommendations for planning your own trip there. Whether you follow this exactly the way I did or pull ideas and piece it together however you prefer, I hope this video gave you a better sense of what it's like to visit this park. If you want to discover more hiking recs, watch backcountry camping vlogs, or learn more about this national park and others, don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for supporting my channel and allowing me to create valuable content. Look out for me on the trail, say hi if you run into me. Thank you so much for watching. Safe travels. Thank you.